Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm very excited because we're going to be doing the unboxing and trying on some of the products from the March Boxyluxe box. So I really loved December's box, and I feel like this month's box is just as good. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Boxycharm or Boxyluxe, I will leave a link in my description bar. I did do a video when Boxyluxe first came out. I did a video comparing the two and just giving you some more information about the subscription services. So check that video out if you want more information on what Boxyluxe and Boxycharm are. And we're going to jump right into the products in the box. So the theme for this month is La Vie en Rose. So this is what the little card looks like. I'm guessing it's supposed to be, to me it reminds me of springtime. So I'm guessing that's what the theme is supposed to be. And the first thing that we have is the Boxycharm train case. I really like this. I know that I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of this. So this is the size of the bag. So it's just a typical makeup travel case. It has the Boxycharm logo in it. So what the inside of it looks like. You can fit like a good amount of stuff in here. If you're traveling and you don't want to check a bag, this could fit into a suitcase. And if you don't have as much stuff, you can, you know, squeeze it down to save a little bit of room. This one retails for $20. I don't think this was a variation product. I don't know if people got like different colors. I think everybody got this one. But if you got something that looks a little bit different, let me know in the comments. So this is product number 1. Okay, next we have the Wander Beauty Lift Off Purifying and Brightening Peel Off Mask. So this is the packaging here. And I did use this product last night and this morning, so I could talk a little bit about it in the video today. It has a bunch of different ingredients, but I think the main thing in here is the green tea leaf extract. This is supposed to purify and brighten, and it's supposed to remove excess oil and impurities, and it's supposed to replenish dull skin, and it's supposed to be a peel off mask. So when I used it last night, on the directions it says that you're supposed to smooth an even layer all over your face, wait for 10 to 15 minutes, and then peel it off. So last night I did do that, but I don't think the layer was thick enough, because when I went to go peel it off, I couldn't peel it, like I couldn't grab the product to actually peel it off, so I had to resort to dissolving it with water. I did use it again this morning, and I did use a thicker layer. I let it sit for like 10 or 15 minutes, and because I had more of the product on my face, it was easier for me to actually peel it off this time. Same thing with last night. I didn't notice like any like brightening effect on my face, but I felt like both last night and this morning, I felt like my face felt a little bit tighter, and it just felt like smoother. The product looks like, because it has like that really prominent like rose gold look, it looks like it is going to make your face look nice and bright. But like I said, I just didn't notice that. But I did notice my face, it felt like nice and clean, and it just felt nice and smooth and like refreshed. But I didn't get a brightening effect from it. It does have a really nice cooling sensation when you first put it on. And then as the mask dries, you can feel like it pulling on your face, but it's not like a very strong pull. Like if you've ever used an activated charcoal mask, it doesn't pull like that, but it does like get tighter as the mask dries off, and it feels nice and refreshing. And then when you actually peel it off, like I said, your skin looks really nice and smooth. It actually looks a little bit more, I would say a little bit more mattified actually, as opposed to having like a brightening effect. But I do think this one is good enough to use. So I am going to keep using this. Would I repurchase it? Probably not. But overall, I do think it's an okay product. Again, this one retails for $34. Next up, we have the IT Confidence in a Cream Transforming Moisturizing Super Cream. So this is the packaging here. So again, I used this one last night and again this morning. This is developed by plastic surgeons, and it's the #1 anti-aging moisturizer. Perfect for all skin types, even the most sensitive. It's a quick absorbing super cream that immerses your skin in moisture, restores visible radiance, reduces the look of pores, discoloration, lines, wrinkles, and improves the look of firmness. You'll see powerful results instantly and more dramatic results over time. So I know I'm about to sound like an infomercial. I won't say anything about the pores, but like this stuff, I only used it twice, but I was just blown away. I was blown away. When I used this last night for the first time, like you couldn't tell me nothing after I put this stuff on my face. Like I just felt like my face looked, everything that they just said in that card, that's what I felt about this stuff, except for the pores. I wasn't really paying attention to the pores. I do feel like today my pores look like the same, I'll say that, but this stuff just had me blown away. Like to me, my skin just looked brighter, it looked softer. If anything, this gave me a brightening effect more than the peel off mask. But this stuff, to me, it just like it made my skin look so nice. I felt that way last night and this morning. I'm definitely going to keep using this, and even though I've only used it twice, I feel like this is a product that I will probably keep purchasing from now on. It retails for $48. Yes, that is pricey, but just after using it twice, I feel like the $48 is worth it. So now that Boxycharm is starting to give us more skincare products here and there, and even with the makeup too, I feel like I should start doing maybe product updates for the stuff that I get in Boxycharm. I always do the unboxings, but I never come back and do like an update. So let me know in the comments if you want me to start doing that, because I feel like I definitely want to do an update on this after I've been using it for maybe like 30 days. So let me know if that's something you would be interested in. Next up, we have the Deborah Lippmann Odana and Modern Love Nail Polish Duo. So this is what the packaging looks like. I've never heard of this brand before. This is a dual patented formula that lets you bring your nail salon home. 10 active ingredients that help deliver health and shine and long wear to your nails, giving you the effect of gel polish without the damage. So I'm not going to be using this. I think I'm going to give this to my niece because I wouldn't use the nail polish. However, when I opened this last night, I'm not too crazy about this color here. It's just not my cup of tea. What is the name of this color? Oh, this is the Odana one. I just don't care for this one. This one here though, I love this. I think this is so pretty, the shade. This one is the Modern Love one, but I think I'm just gonna give this duo set to my niece because I think that she'll get more use out of it than I would. I can't really say too much about nail polishes because I just don't use them like that, but this one retails for $20. Again, I'm not sure if this was a variation product. I don't know if everybody got these same colors, but these are the purple like lilac color. That's Modern Love, and the other one is Odana. All right, next up is the Iconic Eyebrow Cushion. And this is the packaging. I'm trying to show it to you without reflecting the light too much. It's a really nice, like almost like rose gold or maybe champagne gold packaging. This is an innovative 2-shade liquid brow compact. It allows for fuller looking brows with half the effort. So this is what the inside looks like, and down here I am hiding the mirror. So this is the little brush over here that comes with it, and then this right here is the actual product. So you open this up like that. Comes with a little protective case on top of it. And then right up in here is the product. So I think that I'll get a lot of use out of this color here. This one here I'm not so sure about. I probably won't try it because I'm looking at it and I just don't think that I'll be able to use the product too much. This is the brush here. I think just by looking at it, I'm gonna think that this is just a little too small for me, but I'll see. I mean, it is very detailed, but I just feel like when you think about like a typical brow brush, you see how much taller this one is. So I'm gonna start off by using the spoolie side to brush through my brows. This actually feels really nice. It feels nice and soft, but it's not like scratchy on the brow. All right, now I'm taking the angled brush side and I'm dipping it into the product. And I'm a little hesitant to like really dip into it because I don't want too much to come up on the brush. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna go in the direction of my hair. And I do kind of feel like I may have picked up too much product, so I'm going to see if I can spread this around. This brush is kind of hard for me to use. Okay, I was looking for another brush that I could switch to, but I do have a couple other angled brushes, but they're not quite as precise as this one. So I'm gonna keep going with this and see if I can just make it work, but I do not care for this brush. It's bending. I'm not able to keep it straight, number one, and it's just too small in my hand. But I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm gonna go back to the spoolie side and I'm gonna brush through. And I think just brushing through will help lighten it up a little bit. The only thing I like about my brows today is that lately I feel like I've been like overdrawing them, and it's like no matter how much I try to be precise, my brows end up looking too wide. And with this one, even though I had a really hard time using the brush, I feel like my brows look more narrow, and I do like that. I think the next time I try this, I am going to concentrate more on the lighter brown shade, because I really thought that the lighter brown shade was just gonna look too light on me, but I think this dark brown shade, it looks very dark brown in the pan, but I feel like on my brows it looks more black than it does in here. But overall, I can see why this is constructed like this, because it's meant to be like compact for traveling, but I just don't care for this brush. I think it's just too difficult to use for me. So the next time I use this, I'll probably also use another brush with a longer handle. The product in here is also supposed to be like smudge proof and waterproof. So I'm just gonna let the brows sit for a little bit and move on to the rest of my makeup, and we're gonna see if it actually is smudge proof a little later on. Okay, next up we have the Morphe 15B Brunch Babe palette. And I'm very happy because this is the one that I wanted. So this is what it looks like. This was a variation product and it came with either 3 or 4 variations. This is the one that I wanted the most, so I'm very happy that I got this. This is actually gonna be my first time using a Morphe eyeshadow palette. So I'm not gonna be able to use like all of the shades in here, but we are gonna test out just a few. I'm gonna do a rather simple look because I am on my way to work after I film this. So I think I'm gonna start off with, I'm gonna use the shade Donuts, this shimmery shade over here. I'm gonna pop that on the majority of my lid, and I'm not wetting the brush just yet because I just wanna test it out dry first. Now I was expecting like a little bit more pop, but I do think it is showing up okay on my lid, but I am gonna try to wet it and see if that helps. Yeah, and that does help. This is a really pretty color. The consistency of this particular color that I'm using right now is like quite creamy. So I'm actually gonna go back over it one more time with my finger. And as suspected, that does make it a lot more pigmented. It's like this particular one, it kind of feels like a pressed cream eyeshadow almost. All right, I'm gonna take the shade Waffles, this kind of dark, it's almost like a purplish brown shimmer shade, and I'm gonna put that on the outer part of my lid. And I just did a video on the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea eyeshadow palette, the volume 3, and this particular color is reminding me of that brown shade that kind of irritated me in that palette. This one is a little bit better, but I was expecting a little bit more pigment, just like with the first pink shade that I used. And I'm gonna drag this into my crease a little bit more. I'm gonna take the shade Patio. This is a very dark matte brown. I'm gonna concentrate that like right in what I call like my false crease area. So kind of like right on top of those two shimmer shades on my lid. And I'm gonna build that color up right up in here. I'm just deepening out the look, adding a little bit of dimension to my lid area. And I'm not gonna build it up too much because I do want it to be like a daytime look. Then I'm gonna take the shade Tots. This is more of like a, I guess maybe like a dark taupey color. And I'm gonna use that to like diffuse everything out and just kind of like bring everything together. First impression wise on this palette, it's nice. I like the fact that there is hardly any fallout or kickback with this palette, but I mean, nothing is wowing me about it. Like I said, this is my first time using a Morphe eyeshadow palette, and I know a lot of people love Morphe eyeshadows and they're good, you know, so far, but to me it's like a standard palette. Like there's nothing that's like super exciting about it. So since I am going to work and I do want this to be, you know, a daytime look, I'm not going to put anything on my lower lash line, but I am going to go in with, I think I'm going to try the shade Whipped Cream. This light shimmery shade over here. I'm going to concentrate that on the very inner part of my lid, and I'm going to drag it into my tear duct area. I am going to go back into Patio, and I am going to put just a little bit of this on my lower lash line. I feel like I need just something down there. So I'm just going to concentrate this right on the outer part of the lower lash line. I don't want it to look too smoky because, like I said, I do want this to be appropriate for daytime. So there's a couple of shades in here that I don't really care to use. So these two over here, I don't know if I would ever like get good use out of those because they're just not my speed. But in general, I do really like the color scheme of this palette, and this would be like a really good everyday palette for me because I love pink tone shadows, and they have some other shades up here that you can use to like transition into a daytime look. Like I said, it's nothing super exciting about this palette, but first impression wise, I did really like it, and it is something that I could see myself using on a regular basis. I do like the size of it too. It's not too big, not too small, really good to travel with. And the packaging on this I think is really nice and sturdy, and they do have a nice size mirror that I'm covering it up, but this down here is a nice size mirror. So first impression wise, I do really like this Morphe palette, and this palette retails for $16. Okay, I do want to quickly show you guys these Lilly lashes. In case you're not familiar with my channel, I don't wear false lashes, so I am going to reserve these for when I do a giveaway one day. But these are the Lilly Lashes exclusive faux mink gala lashes. It adds volume, length, and drama to your lashes. It's limited edition. It's a winged style, cruelty-free, and durable enough to give you up to 20 wears, and these retail for $24. I've heard a lot of good things about Lilly lashes, but like I said, I don't wear false lashes myself, so I will be reserving these for a giveaway. I'm hoping that I reach 1,000 subscribers, and if I ever do that, these will be included in the giveaway. Okay, and next up we have a couple of brushes from MODA Brushes. This is the Powder and Soft Glow Kit. Now, this is the one thing in the box that I'm not all that crazy about this month. These brushes feel super, super lightweight. Like, I feel like there's like nothing in my hand, and it just feels like, I don't know, I want to feel like some sort of weight in my hand when I hold the brushes. I'm also not crazy about the design of the handles, because I'm just used to something that is a bit more straight like this. Because they taper off at the bottom, they just feel weird to me. I just feel like it's something that I'm gonna have to get used to, even though I'm not holding the brush all the way down at the bottom. I don't know, I'm just not too crazy about it. Also, I am gonna use these brushes in a little bit, so I could be wrong about this, but just based on how nice and soft they are really nice, soft and fluffy, but they feel almost like too soft. So like this one, maybe I would use it for like a finishing powder, but I think it's too soft to use for a setting powder if I really want to press powder into my face. It does say that this should be suitable for both liquid and dry products. I just would not even try this with like a liquid foundation. I feel like it's just too soft for that. This one here, I'm gonna try as my highlighting brush, but same thing. It's just so soft and it just looks so flimsy. I just feel like I want just like a little bit more, I guess, sturdiness and like not so much movement in the bristles, but I'm gonna use these in a little bit, so we shall see. I don't know if I said this already, but these brushes, they retail for $29.99. Okay, I have a very bad habit of not checking the time, so unfortunately my camera cut off on me and I was talking for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. So next up we have the Cover FX Perfecting Face Palette. This is the packaging here, and this is what the palette looks like. This palette retails for $45. So this product alone is pretty much the value of the entire box. So in here we have a contour shade, a blush shade, a finishing powder, and then 3 highlighters up here. Now this one being a contour shade, I did already start applying this on my cheek because I thought I was recording. But this contour shade, I think it would work better as a bronzer because it looks more warm tone than cool tone. And even though it does look more warm, I do wish it had a little bit more red in it, but I do think I would like this as a bronzer. So I'm gonna be applying this as a bronzer today. This blush color I think would look nice on me. I am going to try it by itself today, but I may mix it in with this finishing powder and use both of these together as a blush. I don't think I would ever use this finishing powder on its own because it is quite shimmery, and I would just prefer like a, I don't want like shimmer all over my face, so I just wouldn't use it as a finishing powder, but I do think I could also use this as a blush on its own. And then these 2 highlight shades down here, I would use both of these shades. I do really like them. I think the only thing that I would use the middle highlight shade for would be maybe to like highlight the arch of my brow or something like that. I don't know if I would use it so much as a cheek highlight, but we'll see. So like I said, I did already start applying that contour shade as a bronzer. So I have a little bit of it just right above the hollows of my cheek. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that right along my jawline. And I'm also gonna put some of that on my forehead. I just feel like in general, contour products should be like a little more like ashy or grayish or just cool toned so that they can mimic a shadow better, and bronzers, they should run a bit more warm. So I do feel like this brown shade to me is just too warm to use as a contour. I'm switching to another brush and I'm going to stick with this same shade. I'm also going to use this on my nose. And then after I apply contour or bronzer to my nose, I like to take whatever I use to apply my foundation and just dab over it, and I feel like that softens it a little bit and prevents it from looking too harsh. Next, I'm going to try this blush color. I'm going to try it on its own first, and I'm going to apply it with one of the MODA brushes. So that's what it looks like on the brush. It's kind of hard for me to dip this brush into the pan because it's so small, but I'm just gonna lightly drag this on my cheeks. It is very pigmented, too pigmented for me. So I'm gonna take what's on this brush, and I think part of that is the way I picked it up on the brush though. So I'm gonna take part of this product and see if I can spread it on both cheeks. I'm going to take my foundation sponge and just go over this just a little bit. Now I prefer blushes that are like more corally or more peachy, so I am going to take this finishing powder and I'm going to mix that in with the blush and see how it looks. And I think this looks a little bit better. I don't know if y'all can see a big difference on camera, but it's adding a little bit of like a burnt orangey look, which I prefer. I'm not a big fan of this brush though for my to apply this blush. So I usually apply blush with this one, and you see how this is tapered? I think that that works better on my cheek area. This one I just feel like it's just too wide to apply the blush rather. And then I think I'm going to go in with this pinky shade over here for my highlighter, and I am going to try this brush to apply the highlight. And I'm hoping you guys can see when I'm putting the brush in here. I feel like this, let me move it closer to the camera. I feel like the bristles are just so soft that they're not picking up any product, unless it is and I just can't see it. But let's see. Yeah, I don't see any product on the brush. And I don't see anything. I see a little bit of highlight coming off, but that's why I don't care for this brush. It just looks like it's just too flimsy. I'm gonna switch over to the brush that I would normally use to apply my highlighter. Now maybe it's the highlighter because I still don't really see the product on my face. Let me try the other side. I'm like really dipping into this. I can see a little bit more over here, but this is just like a super subtle highlighter, I guess. Okay, now it's showing up on my face. I'm gonna put a little bit more down here, and then I'm just gonna stick with the same brush, and I'm gonna dip into this color right in the middle, and I'm gonna use that as my brow highlight. I like using big brushes like this for my brow highlight. This one is showing up really nicely. This one is a lot more pigmented than that pinky shade. Okay, so first impression with this one, I do really like it. I didn't get a chance to use this shade here today, but overall, I do really like this palette, and I do like, again, the size of it. Just like with the Morphe palette, this would be good for traveling. If you just want to grab something really quickly where you can have options to use bronzer, blush. You could even use some of these shades as eyeshadow. This could be like a really nice like one-stop shop type of palette for that. This highlight shade over here, I did feel like I had to really dip into it to make it show up. It's showing up as like a really subtle highlighter, and I was expecting a little bit more of a pop from this one. I feel like this one I had to really like work at it to get it to show up. But overall, I do really like this one. And again, this retails for $45, so almost the price of the entire box. And the last product that we have today is the BECCA Ultimate Lipstick Love. It's a moisturizing 8-hour long wear silky satin lip infused with the next generation of hyaluronic acid. This one retails for $24. I really like this packaging. I think it's nice and chic. And this is what this color looks like. And this one is called Souffle. So let me finish everything off with this. I think this was a variation product too. I think everyone got this lipstick, but I think people got different colors. I love this color. This one reminds me of the Too Faced Natural Nude lipstick in the color Girl Code, which I used to love. It looks very similar to that. This is definitely something that I would wear every single day. I love this. Now, I did have a little bit of lip balm on my lips before I put this on, so I wish I had remembered that and taken it off. But I put lip balm on my lips underneath all of my lipsticks unless it's like a lip gloss. But this one does feel really nice and silky. And I can't tell you about the 8-hour wear right now, but I do really like the way that it feels, and I love this color on me. I'm very happy that I got this color. I do want to quickly show you guys how this closes because I do really like it. It's not necessarily magnetic, but it just has, actually, okay, it is a little bit of magnet in there, so it does just close down like that. I do really like this packaging. Again, this one retails for $24. Okay, so my final thoughts on this box, I really love it. I don't really care for these brushes, like I said. I highly doubt that I'll be picking these up to use them after today's video, but I feel like the rest of the products, the like I said, the nail polish, I'm probably going to give this away, but I feel like everything else, I'm definitely going to try them at least one more time. I'm not sure about how much use I'm going to get out of this one. I think that this is just not something that I'm used to. I'm just very used to using a brow pencil, and I do like the way that my brows look. Oh, we do need to test and see if it's smudge proof, so let's test that now. So I'm just going to run my hands over my brows, and I actually do see a little bit of product on my finger. Not too much, but there is a little bit of product that's picked up. But I mean, so far I like the way that my brows look today. I think that they look a lot more narrow than they do when I use the eyebrow pencil, so I am going to play around with this a couple more times. I feel like I just have to get used to it. But overall, I do really like the box. The only issue that I had with this box, and this is not a big issue, but I just feel like a Morphe palette, I consider Morphe to be an affordable brand. So I could see this going into the regular Boxycharm box, but I feel like for the Boxyluxe box, we should have gotten more of a higher end palette. So let me know in the comments if you agree with that. I do really like the palette that I got, but I just feel like Morphe is considered affordable and Boxyluxe is supposed to be more like higher end luxury products. But overall, I'm very satisfied. Again, if you want some more information on Boxyluxe and Boxycharm, I will put some links in my description bar. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and I hope to see y'all back for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.